What is the goal of human life? It is threefold. First, give up animal qualities. Second, sustain human qualities. And third, work towards attaining divine qualities. Why these three? Because many of us have a tendency to become angry, many of us have a tendency to be jealous, many of us have a tendency to feel very proud, many of us have a tendency to feel sad very often. Swami used to say this is all animal qualities because for so many lifetimes we have risen over these different species. In the Sanatana Dharma belief of things, there are 84 lakh, mean 8.4 million species. And the human life is the crest jewel of that. 8.3 million, 99,999 are other species, and the crest jewel of that species is the human being. But we've gone through most of those lives, so in our subconscious mind, those tendencies of a dog's anger and of a wolf's slyness and of a lion's anger are lurking there still. And the whole objective is to let go all of that so we can become fully human, and then from human move to the final destination, which is divinity. Human life is most valuable. Why is the human life most valuable? We all repeat this very often. Oh, human life is very valuable. Why? Because if a dog is born, it dies as a dog. If a lion is born, it dies as a lion. But only a human being has the capacity of being born as a human being and leaving this world with the realization and experience that he is one with divine. That is why this human life is very valuable. So the first objective of human life is to understand that this is the threefold objective. Then move ahead in this path of transformation. Why transformation? Because it's only when we undergo a process can we become much better. You see a sugar cane, right? The sugar cane goes through crushing. The juice comes out of that. It is heated. Then it is cooled. Then you form crystals out of that. And finally you have the fine sugar which is consumed in our kitchen, in tea, coffee, in milkshake, in ice cream, in any of those items. You see gold that we wear. It is available in absolute raw form in the mines. And that then goes through so many processes to become that shining gold that we adorn as a jewelry piece or on our watches or wherever. You see diamonds that are used in the temples or in decoration or even in jewelry. They are shining bright, but when they are available in the mine, they are available in the raw form as hardened carbon. This entire process of transformation from carbon to diamond is a process which is very painful, very difficult. But that process is necessary in order to reach that bright, shining identity that we all adore and admire, which is the diamond. Similarly, if we want to attain that particular state where we are transformed and better human beings, we need to be willing to undergo that transformation. There is this very famous story of Shirdi Baba. There was this man who had gone to Shirdi Baba and he asked him, Baba, does God exist? He said, yes. Then why can't I see him? Then Shirdi Baba said, does butter exist in milk? He said, yes. We all know butter is made out of milk, right? It's not in the packet from where we get. That packet is made from the milk. If we go back into the process of butter is made, it is made out of milk. So Shirdi Baba asked him, oh, so is butter there in milk? He said, yes. Can you see it? No. When can you see it? When you curdle the milk, then you heat it, you process it, and from that eventually butter and ghee, which is popular in Indian households, is made. Right? He said, yes, Baba, that's right. He said, similarly, if you want to see God, you have to understand and work towards identifying yourself with the soul. In Hindi, the exact words of that story are, and if some of you all are Hindi speaking, then you'll be able to appreciate it better. But for the benefit of those who know Hindi, I'll just repeat that. He said कि दूध से मक्खन मिलता है दूध बिलोने से, उसी तरह ईश्वर मिलता है आत्मा को टटोलने से. That is the process in which the journey of transformation and God realization begins. Often we are told that God exists in everyone. God exists in everything. Why can't we see God? Just like fire exists in every speck of wood. Every speck of wood, fire exists. When can we see that fire? Any idea when we can see that fire in wood? SSC. Do you all learn that in school? How do you get fire out of wood? You have to rub them against each other. You have to scrape them hard, right? Only then the fire which is latent in the wood manifests itself. Fire is there, but to get that fire out, you have to rub the pieces of wood against each other, and that is traditionally how the yajna is performed in India. You have the fire, wood rubbed against each other, the flames come off, and that's when the whole process of that yajna or the fire sacrifice begins. Similarly, God exists in all of us. But to experience that, to manifest that, this process of sadhana or transformation has to be undertaken. And that is why this beginning of transformation is self-effort. In the Prashna Upanishad, there is this famous story of this sage called Pipilada and his disciple. He tells him a story of a farmer, and that farmer is sitting dejected because he's put in his best efforts, but the rains have not come that year. And so he's worried that his crops will get wasted. So he's sitting there totally dejected. And next to him is a mud pot. And all of a sudden, in that imagery of that Upanishad, that mud pot starts talking to this farmer and says, "Why are you dejected, O farmer? Do you know what happened to me? I was raw mud available on the ground. I was collected. I was wetted. I was heated, I was churned, I was beaten, and I was given a shape finally good enough to be made into this particular form of a mud pot. Only then I have the capacity to carry this water inside and be of any help to you in the purpose for which you want to use me." Similarly, in your life, all the efforts that you have put with all earnestness, you will also get the result. Do not worry. See how the imagery of a pot talking to the farmer and telling its own story of how it had to go through so many troubles of being useful to the farmer himself. So that is why the whole effort towards self-perfection begins with the willingness to change, with the desire to be of use to others, with the desire to be of benefit to society.